All right, I'm sorry it took a bit there, but Rangers win. They win. Feels weird to say that they won a hockey game as they win 5-2 over the Anaheim Ducks. I put the poll in the chat. I don't know why I'm stumbling on my words here, but I put the poll in the chat. Are you guys moved by the win? Because I'm curious to see what you guys are thinking. And we actually have more yeses than I thought. We have Noah's still winning, but we do have a couple of yeses, which I'm a little shocked about. Me personally, I mean, I'm not moved. I'm not moved. I'm glad they got the win, and they need to build off of what they did at the end of the game if they want to get me roped back into this, because the last 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, that's what you need to see more of. But are we going to see it? I don't know. The problem is I can't be moved when you show up for 5 to 10 minutes against the Anaheim Ducks. I'm sorry. I'm not going to celebrate over and be overly excited about this win. And I know people are going to tell me to stop being like that, but it's the truth. It is the truth. I shouldn't be moved because they played 5 good minutes against the Ducks. They need to be a hell of a lot better, and I think everybody should be on the same boat as that. That first period, unacceptable. The compete level, non-existent. Yet again, you go down 2-0 after it. Of course, Adam Henrique gets both of the goals. Of course, the first pair was out there for the first goal. Of course, the first goal came within the first minute. But you know what? At least they didn't allow a mountain of goals after, right? That's a positive if you want to take one there. Another positive if you want to take one here, the power play looked better. So will they be back to being power play merchants? I don't know, but the power play looked a lot better. Got some different looks here and there. Got a little more creative. Granted, the first one I think was a little bit fluky as how they wanted to do it. I don't think Adam Fox intended on dumping the puck from the opposite end of the ice down there for Chris Kreider to get it, and then Trocheck just gets in front. Radko Gudas is off in Mars, and then he gets a tap in front. Don't know if they meant that, but the second power play goal was a lot more creative, a little give and go. Artemi Panarin to Fox up at the point. Panarin goes down low at the back door, gets a feed from Fox and scores. At least there's creativity there. And maybe put Panarin in that spot. I don't know, because Zibanejad, all he's doing is missing the net or shooting it right at the goalie's chest. So maybe that's something that they should start with there. It would make sense too. Get Lafreniere in the opposite circle. Put Mika on power play too. Maybe it puts some sort of spark there on that unit. I'd like to see that. That's at least a positive, though, that you could take away, is that the power play looks better. So if you want there. If you want another, the third line, mostly Cooley and Brzezinski I'm referring to there, because the lines were shifted all over the place at points. Loved what I saw from Will Cooley in this game. Love what I saw from him. Drew the penalty late to give them that power play opportunity, tied the game with the deflection, because my God, I wanted to pull my hair out watching them fire pucks from the blue line all night with no traffic. They finally got traffic, and it worked with Will Cooley in front to deflect that Jacob Trouba shot. That was the tying goal. Then they had the power play, which Panarin ended up giving them a 3-2 lead. You had the goofiest goal from Chris Kreider, as he ended up just getting a little chip shot on his own rebound to make it 4-2. Jimmy Vesey got the empty netter, but regardless, yeah, you need to show up for way more than 10 minutes against the Ducks. You do. And a lot of the hockey was so uncompetitive from both sides. Both teams looked so ugly at points in this game. The Ducks, they weren't generating a lot of chances, and a lot of it was perimeter play from both teams. There was just shots from the blue line. I was falling asleep watching teams fire pucks from the blue line, turn it over in the neutral zone, fire it at the other team's shins. It was just such sloppy hockey from both teams. It was very sloppy hockey. Not a lot of hits in the game either, just no physicality. A lot of penalties being called too. That's the second period was pretty much not even played at even strength. Almost half of it played without manpower in that one. So yeah, and then you had the 4-on-4, I guess, there. So technically even strength, but I mostly mean 5v5, where the game is obviously mostly played. But yeah, they need to build off of what they did at the end of the game if they want to give me any sort of hope here and make me feel better about this team going forward. But as of right now, I am not moved because we know this team has had inconsistency issues. So why should I have faith that this is going to be the game to turn the page until proven otherwise? There's way bigger of a sample size and way larger amounts of data that back up this is not going to be anything more than just the 2 points. And then, maybe they'll grab a win against the Sharks too, which you'd hope so, which you take care of business against the bad teams. But then what do you do against Vegas on Friday? Then what do you do when, where do they go after that? I think they go back on the road, which is just so stupid. You come back home for one game, you go back on the road. It just doesn't make sense, the scheduling there. But then you go to Ottawa. I mean, that's a win you should have. But then you have the break. How do you come out of the break there? If you get momentum here, is that break going to hurt your momentum? And then you play Colorado, Tampa. I just need to see more to be impressed and moved. That's just me. Because I've seen this team enough where they just don't build off of games like this. They just don't. So until I see otherwise, I'm not going to sit here and say that this team is fully back. I'm not going to say they're fully back until there's enough of a sample size to prove otherwise. At least there was a fight, though. Like, that's something you could hang your hat on. At least there was a fight at the end of the game in terms of them giving some sort of effort. Because we just have seen them be non-competitive. Is it because the Ducks played a back-to-back and they had more of a travel between going from San Jose back home? Is it because of the fact that the Rangers actually finally capitalized on their opportunities? Is it because the Ducks just suck? Is it because the Rangers got lucky? I don't know. But we're going to find out, I guess, because you've got to take advantage of San Jose. You have to take advantage of San Jose. If you don't, we're right back to square one and we're not happy all of a sudden again. That's why I can't say this moves me, because if you lose to San Jose, it's going to be the same conversation we've been having for the past week. It's going to be the same conversation. And yeah, I just don't feel like I should be celebrating too much, because there were some things that were driving us all up the walls. Let's not pretend the last 10 minutes changed the entire thing that happened early in the game. Kakko getting benched. What are we doing? I know Kakko hasn't necessarily been the sexiest in terms of how he's played, but in my opinion, with the way that Mika and Kreider have been playing, I know they end up racking up a few points tonight, some of it on the power play, and Kreider had that even strength goal late, but they have not been giving as much of an effort at 5v5. Why is Kakko the one to take a seat there? That I didn't understand. That I didn't like from Laviolette. And he just put him on the fourth line. Couldn't understand that move at all. I know he was trying to switch things up, put VC up there, but it didn't make a difference really at all. It really didn't make a difference at all. And Kakko was on the line, I'm pretty sure, at the end there when Kreider scored the goal. So make of that what you will. And then, obviously, the Miller-Trouba mistake at the beginning of the game. The second line has been very invisible lately. They're cooling off. It was kind of expected for them to hit a rut at some point. They weren't going to go perfect the entire season. We need to start seeing them get back to playing some good hockey in the offensive zone, because when they're not producing offensively, they are a nightmare defensively, as we saw on that first goal where Vinny Trocheck is absent on the back check, where we saw Lafreniere lazy on the back check, where we saw Artemi Panarin. I mean, Panarin had a couple of flashy plays in their own end, but we know that that's an outlier. That line is not good enough defensively, so they need to get going a bit more offensively again. But yeah, Lucas, the Saul quickest chest in the league we've seen since Akira Schmid. Yeah, I agree. Before we jump further into the recap, by the way, we have 55 of you guys in here. Please be sure to leave a like if you haven't already. Want to see if we could get 250 likes on the post-game show. So there's 55 of you guys in here. Should be no reason we can't, right? But unless you guys are just annoyed with me. But the poll, let's see. Are you guys moved by the win? We're at 21% for yes, 79% for no. If you're voting yes, I want to know why. I'm curious why, and I'm not trying to sound snarky, and I'm not trying to sound like, oh, you're wrong for feeling that way. I'm just curious why you have that opinion. Like, genuine question. Like, genuinely, why do you believe that this win, like, why does this win move you? Genuinely, why does it move you? I'm just curious. I'm just curious because to me, there was still, I can't ignore what we saw the first 50 minutes of the game, or if you want to even say 40 minutes, if you want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they played good the entire third, I still think there was a little bit of slop early in the third. But regardless, say you want to give them the benefit of the doubt, I can't forget what the first 40 minutes of this hockey game were. I just can't. I can't forget it. That's just my opinion. But yeah, you end up taking advantage of a team that you need to. That at the end of the day is the most important thing. Especially for a team like Anaheim that's also banged up too. So you had to win that game. You had to win that game. And let's say, and yeah, it's the Ducks. If you play that way against any, I guess I'll segue to the chat because I don't know if I have much more to say. But yeah, if you play that way against a better opponent, why am I stumbling on my words and stuttering here? The more likely outcome is that you're going to lose the game. That's fair. You get 4 unanswered goals in the third. That's fair. To me, it's just, again, the fact that I can't be satisfied with a 10-minute effort. That's just me. I'm not moved by a 10-minute effort, but that's fair. That's fair to say. You got to start somewhere, but we need, to me, it's just like, I can't say I'm moved when they could walk into the SAP Center on Tuesday and look like garbage against David Quinn's San Jose Sharks. I don't know. Let's see what else you guys have to say in chat. I don't know why this is like bugging for me. This is really bugging for me right now. StreamYard here. Do I have something else open? I don't even know. It's bugging a bit though. Let's see. Can't rely on power plays to win games. You're damn right about that too. Not moved at all. Drury still needs to make big time moves. I still think making big moves is just putting a band-aid on things. Like to see Kreider, Trocheck, Cooley. I could get behind that. They definitely need to split Kreider and Zibanejad up still. I get they scored at the end. Cool. It was nice, but that's not been the common theme here. Those two playing well at 5v5 together. Not a good win, but we'll take 2 points and hope this win puts some confidence back in the team and we can start building momentum and start to play better hockey moving forward. I agree. That's all you can really hope for. And, if this is the win that was the difference, I'll throw my hands up in the air, admit I was wrong, and eat crow on it. I'd be very happy to be wrong and eat crow on this one. And this is the move, or this is the win that moves them and makes them a competitive team down the stretch. I just can't be there considering the data backs up that they are an inconsistent group. The amount of puck possession and shots they had was very misleading. A lot of the shots were from the outside and were very low danger chances. With this possession, you need to see more high danger chances. 1,000%, Matt. And we talked about that at nauseum, that they need to generate more high danger chances. They could get all this possession they want. They were playing way too much from the perimeter, throwing way too many shots from the blue line, especially without screens in front of the net. You cannot do that. You're not going to win hockey games that way against better teams. You're just not. Whole team looks unmotivated. How is that even possible? Yeah. That was another thing, too. You have the disallowed goal. That's a fair question. If that goal wasn't offsides, would they have won the game? Because at that point, the life's really, really sucked out of you. I don't know if I could say they would have won the game at that point. Ugly win. Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Mika Hughes. Yeah, can't say they're magically back. And yeah, if they dominate from puck drop against the Sharks, then I'm more interested to see where this starts to go. But 2 months ago it was just one loss. Right now, it's just one win until they can prove that they can get things back together. Yes, Luke, that I agree with. That I agree with completely. That yeah, that's where we're at. Where we can't say, oh, it's one game when they lose, but then also be like, we're back when they win. No, it goes both ways then. Great to see the comeback, but that game was one fortunate review away from going horrible defensive lapses, Miller, and losing the game. Yep. 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 I could agree with that, but dude, that first goal, what are we doing here? What I mean, both of the goals, even like the defense, but especially the first one. Oh, the first goal was hideous. It was hideous. On a side note, Coley is a beast, plays with so much heart and grit, with a little bit of scoring touch. He will be wearing a letter in a few years if he plays as hard as he does now. That I could agree with, yeah. That I could agree with. If a big move is made, um it needs to be a big change for the core and not a rental. I don't think we're gonna see that midseason, Mike. Will Cooley is elite. I want Drury to go low scale at the deadline and then take a look at bigger roster changes in the summer. I agree with that if they're gonna buy at this deadline, but I wouldn't say Will Cooley's elite, but I do like his game a lot. I can't say he's elite for sure. You might just be like that. That might just be hyperbole from you, and you're just saying it to say it. And you don't actually mean it. But like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna get Kane, Tarasenko, or Gensel. I don't think any of those guys are coming here. Maybe Tarasenko, but the Penguins aren't trading Gensel here, and I don't know if Detroit's gonna be selling. I chose yes because the comeback wins like this at least add a jolt of energy, and I think they could build on it. I didn't choose yes because I thought they played a great game. Fair, fair. First goal was unacceptable. I was doing the clap. Yeah. How come he benched Kako? I don't know. I don't know, but that's a question I'd love answered. I'm gonna look actually if he answered anything about that or if he even was asked about that. But Laviolette, that is. I wouldn't be shocked if somehow they end up scratching Kako for Pitlick though on Tuesday. Wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, I like Sprong too, but I don't think that it's I don't think it's gonna happen again. I don't think Detroit's selling. Nothing from Molly. What about Vince? Why did we used to always get the post game quotes and now we just don't on Twitter? Like, I don't get that. I don't get that. Um, yeah, all I see is Vince Mercogliano not knowing the song California Love, thinking it's called just California. That's really about it. Um, yeah, there's no post game quotes here at all. Yeah, Wheeler had a pretty solid game. Wheeler had a solid game. Yeah, Perry's going to Edmonton. I there's nothing about Gensel there, but um, yeah, Corey Perry. Apparently, there was rumors that the Rangers were linked to Corey Perry, and they tried to get him, but he ended up picking Edmonton. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the issue. It's like I it's just a meritocracy still with this organization. It feels like where certain guys get benched, certain guys don't. I don't get it. How did Kako look in the first? I mean, he looked pretty solid. He looked like the best out of that line. That's for sure. No, this would be a terrible trade. No. No, I would not trade Miller and Kako for Zegras. No. As much as Miller and Kako, mostly Miller, could drive me insane, the upside of Miller is still there. And like I'm not a Zegras guy at all. I think Zegras is just more of the same of what this team has, where he's just a guy that would be a complementary piece where, you know, if you're going to move Miller and Kako, you got to get someone that's going to be more of an impact player, like a Chikrin, like going out and getting even a bigger name. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Miller. K might come back just because he doesn't like wearing a lot of jerseys, according to a good source. Yeah, of course. I'm driving both Miller and Jones to the airport if they could get Chikrin for that price. I'm driving both of them to the airport. I'm driving both of them to Ottawa, actually. Fun fact. You'll see me. You'll see me driving them to you'll see me actually walking through New York with them on my back. Sorry, just answering a text here. Live stream the road trip. Yeah, I'll do that. Would love to see Tarasenko back with the physicality, and offense he could provide. I don't know if he's gonna he didn't really bring physicality. He did every now and then, but I still think they need someone else with like I like Vetrano. I like Vetrano. Didn't really notice him a lot tonight, but I would still be on board with that. I'd like him more than Tarasenko. I'm not big on the whole Tarasenko reunion thing, honestly. I think they need someone with more of a bite to their game and an edge. I would really like if Toronto sells. I'd like Tyler Bertuzzi, and I know people might be like that watch him play because I do watch Leaf games now and then. They might not like the way that he plays, or just looking at his baseline numbers, you might not like them. But right now, he's being poorly utilized in Toronto. If you get him playing in the top 6 with this Rangers team and get him used properly, he could make a difference and help. Yeah, I would have loved Corey Perry, but he picked Edmonton. Unfortunately, there. Let's see what else we got here. 26 likes on the stream. Let's get more. Come on. We're at 51 viewers. Let's get more. Subscribe if you haven't. Let's get the 2K subs. Come on. Honestly, I missed the vibe I was feeling just before the playoffs last season. Really thought we were going to win it all. Yeah, Sean. Yeah, you and I both. I was on cloud 9, especially when they went up 2-0 in the series. Yep. I wouldn't want Hedman or Carlson if they're going to look the way they have. They both have looked like, especially Carlson more so than Hedman. Both are looking like they're regressing. Yeah, they need more grit in the lineup with scoring help there, of course, too. Bruins Twitter would have a meltdown if the Rangers acquired Bertuzzi. Yeah, I'd be here for it. He'd be close to completing his original 6 tour. Then he'd only have Montreal left, and then Chicago. Perry and Fogle on a line together. That should be us. Yeah, what happened to the game I love? Yeah, I'm glad the Rangers didn't pay Strome. him and Kopp, whenever I see those two play, I'm thankful the Rangers didn't pay either of them and they went with Trocheck. That would have been poor. That would have been a poor decision. Especially with the way Strome misses open nets at will. That guy couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. And, you know, I like him as a person. He's a great guy, but dude. Yeah, Sprong would be a really, really good fit. I really don't think it's likely. I don't think it's likely. I'm starting to think Detroit makes it. Toronto has been not playing good enough hockey to the point where I don't know. Like, there might be a chance Toronto misses the playoffs. Like, I think there's, at this rate, there's a better chance Toronto misses the playoffs instead of Detroit. Call me crazy. Call me crazy for the hot take, but Toronto has not been playing good hockey at all. They have not been good at all. And whoever does make it either way, they're not beating Florida. They're not beating the Panthers. No shot. This was a Gallant game, a game where we had no business winning it, but we pulled 5 goals out of our ass. And a month from now, everyone forgets about how we won. Yep. Agreed. It was the whole no quit New York thing again. Yay. Bottom 6 is too soft. Bring up Edstrom and Rempe. Also, Belzile was decent with the Habs. Edstrom's currently injured, so they can't have him play right now, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd agree there. Rempe, I don't know if he should be in the NHL yet. He would bring some physicality, but I don't know if I'd want him in the NHL yet. And then Belzile, that guy should have been one of the first call-ups over Jake Lecision. It does not make sense to me at all. It just doesn't. And then they called up, who was the other guy they called up too recently? I can't even think about it. I don't know. This core doesn't have a killer instinct. Costed them a couple playoff series. Yep, you're not wrong. Can't let this win mask the poor Anton Bleed. Thank you. I don't know why I forgot about Anton Bleed. Can't let this win mask the poor defensive mistakes that led to those 3 goals, even though one was overturned. Yeah, I can't. That's why I'm not moved. That's why I'm just simply not moved. I'm not a Monahan guy, Alex, personally. I'm personally not a Monahan guy, but I'd love Jacob Chychrun. Would love Jacob Chychrun. Kreider and Trocheck played well with play well together. They are both very north-south players. I think they really need to stick together. And with Kakko and Cooley on their side, yeah, I agree with that. I will walk 500 batters, and I will walk 500 more. Frank. It's nothing like Frank. And I don't know if you're talking about Monahan with this comment, but I don't know. I don't see it in Monahan. I just don't. And the injury risk is what scares me the most about him too. I want Berard called up. You're talking about Berard. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be okay with him playing in Hartford for a little bit longer too. Yeah, I don't see the comparison. I think he meant Berard there. Or she meant Berard there, sorry. Whoever was talking about Berard, was it Nicole or no, it was Agent. I keep mixing it up. The same profile pic The same purple profile pic threw me off there. Sorry. I apologize to both of you. Um, Igor making that big save was the reason Kreider's goal was able to happen. That's what we need more. His big saves leading to momentum swings, direct scoring chances the other way. Yeah, that's what they need more of from Igor. They need Igor to be more consistent too. That's another reason why we need to temper down a bit, because we need to see Igor string together some consistency too. Do you think Strom and Kopp only look good as a product of Panarin with them? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of showing, to be honest. Alex, also, when Panarin went cold in the playoffs, both of them did. Vesey hitting that net from all the way down the other end while everyone misses wide from 5 feet away really got me. Yeah, it was kind of funny. Belzile last season had 14 points at 5v5 in 31 games. That's a 0.74 points per games played. That would be the highest on the team this year. That's just great. Thank you. That made me happy. I just don't understand why they called guys like Bleeding Lecision up before him. It just doesn't make sense. I get that he wins faceoffs, Monahan, but I don't know. I just feel it's more of the same of what they have, and he just he's too injury prone. Yeah, Igor definitely needs to continue to play this way if the Rangers want to start being a more consistent team. But they can't rely on Igor entirely. That's the thing. Who would I want off the Rangers' top three guys if I get rid of them tomorrow? I don't know. I mean, for contract reasons, Goudreau, Trouba, I don't know, a Kreider probably, or Mika. I don't know. It would depend, obviously, who they're getting in return there too. There's a lot that goes into that, but like, assuming those no movement clauses aside, those three. But I don't know. Tell me I'm wrong. Prime life was watching 2014, 2015 Rangers. Yeah. Yep. I would agree. That team was that was my favorite team out of all the ones growing up as a younger lad here, because the people in here I'm sure are gonna start bragging that they were around for 94, and I envy you in the nicest way possible. But for my lifetime, yeah, the 2014, 2015 Rangers were my favorite. 2011, 2012 is up there. Obviously, the Cup run team is up there. 16, 17 was a fun team, even though they all stressed me out too. But yeah, Kreider chooses when he wants to show up, Nick. Yeah. I was 18 when they won the Stanley Cup. I am very jealous of you. I am very jealous of you. A man could dream. Marty sending us back to Montreal up 3-1 was magical. I thought they were really going to do it after that year. Yeah. Yeah, I thought so too. I thought 2015 they were going to do it for sure also. Yeah. Miller needs to go. I'd agree, Steve. I would agree. He still has just not been playing good enough at all. He just hasn't, unfortunately. Sorry, just Reading a text here. This is important. Sorry. I'll answer chat in a bit. All right, let's get back to the chat here. Bills choke again. Yeah. Yep. And you know what? Sorry if there's anyone that's a Bills fan here. It puts a smile on my face. I don't like the Bills. I'm sorry. I don't like the Bills. Not that I like the Chiefs, especially after last year. Especially after last year. I don't like the Chiefs at all, but I don't like either. I don't like either. I want the Ravens to win at this point. Yeah, both of these. Both of these. Last night, someone said this is the least likable Rangers team in years, and it really hit me how true that is. Yeah, we talked about it. I don't remember if we talked about it on air, but yeah, we talked about it on or off air when we were together last night. Yeah, I can't disagree. Can't disagree. Chiefs and 49ers playing the Super Bowl. I'll be rooting for an earthquake. You and I both. I'd like Zuccarello. I'd like Zuccarello, but I don't think it's realistic. Don't recall this was way too young, but why did they let Miller walk? Because they were going in a rebuild, and there were there were stories about JT Miller with the organization where there were. I'm not gonna like get into everything, but like there was just a lot of stories about how he was never taking his off season seriously. He didn't really prioritize hockey as much, and he was really just a party animal and never took it seriously here. So the Rangers just decided to throw him into the McDonough deal and trade him off there. They got fleeced in the deal, but yeah. And then similar things with Tampa happened, and it took him that trade to Vancouver. He said it too, to really spark him and get him and wake him up to be the player he needs to be. And we talked about this with Philk on the podcast. I question still if this is what's going on in the organization at times. Like it feels. I'm not going to speculate entirely and say names of who I feel like it would be, but I question it at the very least. Like just as an outsider, I can't say for certain, and I don't know anything. I'm not claiming to know anything, but I just question it just because of the history of it being a thing. Because there are stories with other players too. JT Miller had serious attitude issues, showing up late for training camp, overweight after off seasons, mouth off at the staff. Same thing happened in Tampa, which is why he was traded again. Yeah, pretty much what I just said there, Steven. Yeah, except the whole mouth at the coaching staff thing too. Yeah. The Rangers pamper the players too much. It's a spa all-inclusive resort at times. It's too yeah, players get too comfortable. I agree. I yeah. You could tell. You could just tell. That's the thing that's really annoying about it the most is you could tell. Uh, yep. The Lundqvist save. Mm, mm. Wouldn't that be something on Mother's Day in New York? Yeah. Dubinsky talked about how he would walk into MSG during the off season, and as an employee, he would get free food and all, which is nice. But at some point, you go too far. Yeah, I agree, and I think some of these players too get caught up with the fact that they're living in New York and they they're just getting this luxury treatment. And it's great and all that the staff cares about their players and shows it, but at some point there's got to be, like you said, a fine line where you treat these players right, and you also discipline them the right way to make sure they're still being professionals and they're working hard between the off season and throughout the course of the 82 game season plus postseason. Patrick Waugh with his first win. Yep. Unfortunately, there. I wouldn't. I'd say good for him, but I can't say that because I don't want to see the Islanders winning. The players being babied is a big reason why the standards are low and never get met. When does accountability come into play? Yeah, it's all fair questions. Like I don't get why there's just never enough accountability in this organization, and you could just tell. You could just tell there isn't at times. But yeah. You're answering this. Yeah, Rick Nash, he was a good Ranger, but you wanted a bit more from a guy like him. You wanted just a bit more. He had underwhelming postseasons with the Rangers. He did. You wanted more from him. You wanted more from Rick Nash at times. But yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap things up here because, to be honest, I've not got much sleep lately at all over the course of these West Coast games. So I'm going to just wrap things up here, and I'll probably go longer with the post. Actually, I'm not going to guarantee I'll go longer with the post game on Tuesday because I'm going to want to sleep there too. It's a later game. It's a 10:30 game. But yeah, I'm jealous of all these people that have seen all these championships. But yeah, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like if you have not already. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notifications too so you know when I upload or go live next. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.